She learned, I have to be interesting and stimulating. Guys, same thing. When they try to dance for women's approval, it's that mirroring neurons all the way back. You've probably met guys like this, right? That try to be interesting instead of be real.
Yeah, I think there's a massive lack of confidence and insecurity around authenticity. There's all manner of rumor and half truth and full truth and no truth about vulnerability and when it's right to open up and when you shouldn't open up as a man. And the more layers of bro science and half remembered hearsay that you layer on top of an interaction, the more performative it becomes, the more persona and less person there is in the interaction. And the more that happens, the less you actually feel connected with what you're doing, because you're not connecting from you to a person, you're playing a role. So even if you do get the outcome that you want, the person isn't in love with you, they're in love with this projection that you've given them. And this is such a dangerous catch-22 to fall into. It's the reason I think fundamentally that the actual hardcore pickup world failed for men that were unconfident with women, because what it taught them was that the person they had to be and the person that they genuinely were so far apart. If I need to go through this massive rigmarole and say, did you see the fight with two midgets outside? Isn't that and then I've got to neg her and like twist the lemon, and I've got to ignore her and chat up her friend and do all this shit. It's like, if I have to go through this complex fucking rain dance to try and get a woman to go to bed with me, and that's not what I would do, what does that say about me? And
absolutely,
it's one of the problems of taking your cues from culture as opposed from yourself. And again, a lot of this could come from parenting problems too.
It is. Think of this. There's from what I have found, there are two different dating pools, and they don't flag or signal to each other at all. They have almost no crossover. They're not even aware of each other. There's the secure people who want that direct, human, authentic connection of, we are together, we are talking, we're sharing this bond. They don't want stimulation because it feels weird. Too much stimulation up front feels weird to them. They understand that connection, so they want the right bonding experience. Then there's the insecure pool that everybody is trying to be interesting, and they're playing that anxious or that avoidant dance over here. Two different pools that never cross. So when you see guys, every woman out there expects you to be 8 feet tall and have an 18-inch dick, and you have to have 10 billion in the bank. And no, you don't. And you don't have to dance for her amusement and endlessly play games or have dread game or control her. That's only going to work on those insecure women over here. It's never going to work on secure women. They will get up and walk away. You're going to look confusing to them or disinterested, and they're going to track as confusing or disinterested for you. The two dating pools are segregated out completely according to this model. It is wild to see.
Yeah, and just to kind of round out the women having sex on a first date, thinking that it'll get a man to bond with her.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really don't think that many of the girls that listen to this show will think that. But if there is, or if you've got a friend that does think that, like, price is an indicator of quality.
Mm-hmm.
And for almost all of human history, there was a courting period that needed to occur. Even if the courting period was passive because you lived in the same tribe together and she observed you being competent and reliable and trustworthy and bringing back a big wildebeest and helping out with the whatever, right? So there is a period of value justification from man to woman and also from woman to man. And if you shortcut that, the presumption from a lot of guys, and I can tell you this from first and second-hand experience, if a woman gives it up too easily, the assumption is, well, she'll do this to any man.
Correct. That's the first thing men think of. That was a great hamburger. Everyone is eating this hamburger. I'll come back when I'm hungry, but it's not the hamburger I'm going to settle for.
Fuck yeah. All right.